Hi friends! In this video, I'll show you my trade with the token between BingX and MEXC. I'll show you how much I ended up earning. And at the end of the video, I'll explain how to find such spreads to profit from crypto arbitrage. This video will be very interesting and useful, so give it a like. Subscribe so you don't miss new videos. Let's get started. I recorded the trade in advance, and there was a spread between BingX and MEXC. I bought the token on BingX, and as you can see on the screen, there was a strong pump. So there are constantly some volumes coming in. Every now and then, new volumes enter and push into the token. And look, I entered on this pump. I bought on spot and started shorting on MEXC. This way the spread was about 10%. Here are the orders on the BingX exchange. So, as you can see, I bought the AIK token, 5,000 tokens at a price of 0.2139. That's it. And on MEXC, I was shorting. I'll show you at what price as well. I opened a short on the AIK token for 5,000 tokens at a price of 23.70. So we have a 10% spread and we're capturing it between the MEXC and BingX exchanges. On MEXC, we're shorting because the price is much higher there. And on BingX, we're buying because the token is cheaper there. By the way, we can also transfer from BingX to MEXC, which is exactly what I'll do in this video. I'll transfer the tokens to MEXC and sell them there at a higher price because we also have a spread on spot. So the final spread turned out to be 10.76. I entered the data into the table. How many tokens I bought, at what price I entered. 10.76 is the spread. We can take 115 bucks, but let's see how much we actually get in the end, because we still need to close the trade, and closing it might not be as profitable. So let's see how it goes. And now I'm waiting for the spread to converge, for the tokens to align. Basically, I can already start transferring tokens from BingX to the MEXC exchange. Since the token is more expensive there, let's check now. We go to AIC and see that the token on MEXC is priced at 23.56 while we bought it at 21.38.39. There you go. That's why we have a spread which we can lock in by transferring between exchanges. Inter-exchange arbitrage, usually spot arbitrage. That is, you buy cheaper on one exchange, transfer to another, sell at a higher price, and pocket the spread. And we have a short position on MEXC to hedge our position, because since we have the token on spot, we are in a risky position. If the token suddenly drops, we'll end up at a loss. That's why we open a short, so that if the token goes down, we have a short position that will offset the losses from the spot. As you can see on BingX, there are constantly, literally every 5 minutes or so, new volumes coming in. Some bot or market maker is constantly adding volume to the token. Because of this, there are these sharp spikes, differences compared to other exchanges, and we can take advantage of this, collect these inefficiencies, and profit from them. So now I'm withdrawing AIK tokens from BingX to MEXC. On MEXC, I select the AIK token, and now I'm going to deposit the tokens. So we select the token, choose the network, it's on the BSC network, copy the address, go to BingX, and send the tokens via the BNB network. The fees there are low, so you can transfer without any issues, plus the network is fast, so it's really great. We transferred quickly, paid a small fee, and made a profit together. Also, MEXC exchange has this feature. When you withdraw tokens and the deposit hasn't fully gone through yet, the tokens are already available on MEXC. So even if the tokens haven't arrived yet, as long as the deposit has been sent, you can already use the tokens. For example, I can sell 5,000 tokens, but we won't sell them all at market price right away, because that would close our trade at a loss. We'll close the position with a limit order. So I look at the order book and see who I can sell 1,000 tokens to. I see that I can sell 1,000 tokens to someone, basically, and I close the short for 1,000 tokens. Accordingly, on the spot market, we also need to sell 1,000 tokens. So we close the positions simultaneously just like we opened them. 5,000 tokens short, 5,000 tokens spot, and we close them gradually as well. I exit 1,000 tokens at a time. Again, if it's a token that's worth more or less, you just look at the order book yourself and see who you can sell to. Here you can see the order book on the MEXC exchange, and you can check how many tokens people are currently willing to buy, and accordingly, you sell to those people. Again, if you have a large position size, it's always better to exit using limit orders. This way, you'll close your trade much more effectively and get a better spread on exit. For example, if we look at the MEXC exchange right now and check the order book, we see that there aren't really any tokens being bought, so we can't sell. You see here, they're buying 52 tokens at a time, so it's a very small amount. And we have 2,000 tokens left, so we need someone who can buy our volume. And so if we close at market price, again, we just collect all these small orders and end up closing at an unfavorable rate. That's why we wait for someone to place a large buy order, and then we sell our 2,000 tokens to them. As we can see, a large seller has appeared in the order book along with us. Most likely someone else is arbitraging too. Here he is, selling 5,000 tokens. Someone else also noticed this spread and decided to enter the trade. Well, that's fine, we'll wait a little bit. Now our trade should be executed, and we'll close, fully lock in the result, and calculate how much we actually earned. For now, our total profit shows as 115, but let's see how we close. It might turn out to be much less, or on the contrary, even more. So the price has started to drop, which is a good opportunity to close the position now. We still have a short open, so we're closing that and closing the spot as well. But then there was a sudden pump, a sharp pump, and well, damn, we didn't manage to close in time. Alright, let's just close it like this. That's it, we've closed the position, closed the shorts, and sold all the spot. Yeah, we could have closed a bit better, but because of the sudden pump, unfortunately, we didn't close the trade as well as we would have liked. Now let's calculate how much we ended up making. Since we sold on spot using limit orders, we need to calculate the average selling price, because on spot the average selling price isn't shown. It only shows the fill price, meaning at what price you sold and how many tokens you sold. So we calculate the average price. On futures, the average closing price is already calculated, and we enter all this into my spreadsheet. The data has been entered. As a result, we made $73.51. It showed that we could have made 115 bucks, but unfortunately, because there was a sharp pump, I didn't close the position as profitably. So we managed to take $73.50. All in all, that's not bad either, so it'll do. Good enough for coffee. Basically, the trade didn't last long. In just about 10 minutes, we entered, waited, exited, and pocketed $73 for coffee. Tasty? Tasty. The trade volume was about 2,400 bucks, and accordingly, that's how quickly you can make money on crypto arbitrage. Now I'll show you a service that lets you find such spreads. It will automatically search for these spreads for you. You just set the parameters, and the service gives you ready-made deals. All you have to do is go in and take your profit. Of course, I'm talking about Arbitrage Scanner. This is a super convenient website where you can set your own parameters. Here are the parameters and filters. You set the exchange where you want to do arbitrage, the selling exchange, the buying exchange here, whitelist the tokens you want to arbitrage, and blacklist the tokens you don't want to arbitrage. You can set the minimum profit, the minimum transaction amount, the maximum profit, and choose a strategy. I usually do arbitrage on futures or spot plus futures. So I choose spot plus futures or futures plus futures. There's also futures plus spot and other settings like maximum fine spread, minimum deal lifetime, and other parameters. And below, we have a table that displays the trades. Let's set it so that it doesn't refresh. And we can see that we have trades for the ZEC token between Poloniex and other exchanges. That is, the price dropped on Poloniex, while on other exchanges it's much higher. And the spread is 13.5%. There's also trades for the CAR token between coin futures and futures on other exchanges. So on coin futures the price dropped, while on other exchanges the price is much higher. Accordingly, we go long on coin and short on other exchanges. When the spread converges, we close the position and lock in the profit. Right now our profit on the trade is 4.2%. 427, 428. Basically, you can grab such a nice trade. For the Cody token as well between coin and gate. On coin the price dropped, while on other exchanges it's much higher, so you can take advantage of that. For Rye for Lunch, in other words, it shows up here for different tokens. They've also added a new tab called Open Spread, you can check it out. And you can view the spread history. That is, you can see how the token behaved before. We can see there were some sharp jumps in the spread here, and you can catch those jumps. Of course, you need to sit and monitor constantly. This is still a 1-minute chart, but in any case, Zeke often has a spread, and here you can track it by the history. There is also various other statistics displayed here, and you can check different exchanges. In addition to futures and spot plus futures arbitrage, there is also inter-exchange arbitrage here, meaning between exchanges. You buy cheaper on one exchange, transfer to another, and sell at a higher price, like in the case with the Eki token. I bought on BingX, transferred to MEXC, sold at a higher price, closed the short, and locked in the profit. You can search for such trades using the Arbitrage Scanner in exactly the same way. In the filter settings, you can customize the exchanges, deposit, minimum profit, and maximum profit to your preferences. And here the trades are displayed. Again, for the Lunk token, there are trades available on different exchanges. There's some thread between Bittrex and Coin with a 1% difference. Troll between Aztec, Gate, Poke, Coin, Mex, Gate, Mex. By the way, let's take a look at this particular trade. Oh, actually we have different deposit networks, so we won't be able to enter this one. It's also important to make sure the deposit network is the same, meaning you should withdraw BNB and deposit BNB as well, because if you transfer from BNB to Ethereum, the tokens won't arrive. So always make sure the networks are the same. Like here, you see? Of course, a 1% profit isn't that attractive, but you can make this trade between Ethereum and Ethereum. And you can also make this trade with the Troll token, but also keep the fees in mind. Here on Arbitrage Scanner, the fee is also shown. So if you're arbitraging with a small amount, the fees might eat up your profit. That's why you should carefully calculate the fees in advance. All of this is indicated here on Arbitrage Scanner. Besides that, there are also funding traces here. You can do arbitrage on funding as well. By the way, for the Dark token, there's good funding between Gate and L-Bank, for example, right? So on Gate, we go long because the funding is negative, which means there are a lot of short sellers. And when there are a lot of short sellers, the funding turns negative. And the more negative it is, the more short sellers will have to pay the long holders. So accordingly, we go long on Gate and short on L-Bank. Here the funding is less negative. Yes, it will be deducted from us. Here on Gate, we receive funding, and here it gets deducted from us. But because of the difference in funding rates, with a spread of 1.18, we make a profit. That's why, by the way, we have cases on our channel. There are tabs called Playlists, the Playlists tab on the channel. Go there, you'll find cases on funding, spot futures, and inter-exchange arbitrage. So check out the cases, see how I made money, and learn from these examples. So here too, you can do arbitrage. It's a completely free tab. Just go in, check out the funding rates, and make money on funding arbitrage. Besides that, there's also a DEX scanner. That means you can do arbitrage between CX and DEX, use the arbitrage screener, set up notifications to your Telegram channel, and you don't have to constantly monitor the spreads yourself because you'll get notifications. You enter a trade, take your profit, that's it. You can do this as quickly as possible. I also have a secret promo code that I'm going to share with you now. It's called Nikita Arbitrage. You'll find it in the description. Just dive in and follow my link. This promo code gives you an extra 30% more days on your subscription, and I also give you back 30% of the cost. So for example, a 3-month start subscription costs $252. I give back 30%. If you follow my link, buy a subscription and message me on Telegram, my contacts are below, I'll refund you 30% of the cost. I've arranged this little bonus for you, made a deal with Arbitrage Scanner, so use it to get a great deal on your subscription, do arbitration, and earn some cash. They also have a private community. If you purchase the Guru subscription, you get access to a private chat where people share their arbitration signals, talk about how they do arbitration, and exchange information. So for those who want to go fully professional and make money exclusively through arbitration, buy the Guru subscription, join the private chat, and start making serious cash. Well, that's the review of the deal, that's the video. We probably won't see each other again, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. Be sure to like, share the video with your friends, and check out other videos on our channel. And we'll see you in the next videos. Bye everyone.